Hi, and welcome to Across the Desk. This week we have Sean Cummings with us again here, as we always have since season number 2 or 3. Wow. We're going to end the season with Sean Cummings because this is our 20th episode this season. This is the last season of last episode of season 7. And then we'll be back in about 6 or 7 weeks to do season 8. And in between that, Sean and I will be doing a podcast that we have, the Will Rogers Experiment, that we do on Tuesdays.
Right.
That's
live.
Live, and then we drop it on a Wednesday podcast. So that's what we have. And this week, that's what we got. Right here, we're talking with Sean Cummings on Across the Desk. Hey Sean, thank you so much for appearing on the show so many times.
How many times have we done the last show?
Oh man, what, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 5 times.
Isn't that wild?
4 or 5 times. You've done the last show with me this season. It's been kind of a thing, and I like doing it with you every season. And if I can do it every season, have you on the last show, I'm going to do it. So this may be a special. We may run a little longer than 15 minutes. Right. So anyway, what's going on, Sean? What do you know about?
The biggest thing in Oklahoma politics right now is the continuation of the abuse of this teacher in Norman. And her name, we would say Bossomer, but she's French, so she says it properly, Bossomier.
Okay, all right.
Bossomer. And she was a wonderful teacher up in Norman that was Ryan Walter's first person to pick on, to teach everybody else, you step out of line, I'm going to get you, man. And so he literally starts hounding her for giving what's called a QR code. For any of you that don't know, it's what you show your phone to, and it'll take you to a website. And the website was the Brooklyn Library. Yeah. She didn't do anything. This is back when he was originally starting the pornography thing, and he was the one sending porno to the state legislatures. Nobody else was doing it. And the indoctrination before they all started their version. So it's kind of a weird deal because everything he said other people were doing, he's now done.
He's now done.
Isn't that crazy? Or ignored.
It's kind of like that's kind of the MO of a lot of these guys. You know, accuse the others of what you're doing yourselves.
Right.
You know,
projecting.
Projecting.
It really is projecting. Psychological terms, projecting. You make your own movie, and then he wants to put it on you.
Puts it on you.
Right. Isn't that crazy?
That is.
So he still seems to be around. He's on Fox News a lot more because they got this tax rebate through, and I think it's important that we watch Bossomer, we watch this tax rebate that went through. It's $150 million that we are all going to pay to send other people's kids to school.
Why is he going after her right now? She doesn't even live here anymore. She's in New York.
Yeah, she took the deal in New York.
Yeah.
So she is literally the example. And you know, there's a Chinese proverb, and you know, they do something to a chicken to scare the goat. This is to scare all the other teachers. So when the teachers did their walkout years ago, I was down there every day. They are still being punished for that walkout daily. But what they do is they set an example of 1 or 2 of them.
I got
you know, like a whipping boy? You remember the term whipping boy? Instead of beating your own kids, you'd beat this other kid in front of them. I mean, it's just crazy stuff. Yeah. And she's a solid person. She will end up, you and I will end up writing a check through the state of Oklahoma for $10 million to her.
Yeah, and that's what this is about. It's pretty much a retaliatory thing because she's suing the state, so they're going after her, right?
And she, at this point, could sue for hostile work environment. She didn't get fired. She quit. She didn't even let him fire him. She was just like,
well, there's also defamation. I mean, golly. I mean, the stuff he said.
And in her field, and what's weird is she's more of an empath. I'm not. Yeah. But she's more of an empath. And so it really hurts her feelings that they're trying to take her certificate where she earned it with the college she went to here and all this stuff. So she takes it much deeper. What you really want to do is this is a spoiled little white boy that's got a position that pays a lot of money, and he used to have another one that made 40 grand. So what I want to see is the investigation in 5 years and see where money's coming in that he's spending.
Yeah, Ryan Walter seems like the kind of guy who likes to go after these people the way he does, but if you go after him like that, he's gonna be like, I'm being persecuted, right? He's gotta throw a big complex up.
Well, the thing is he's never gonna go after somebody like you and I because we'll fight back immediately and won't take that.
Oh yeah.
So he goes after people he knows will give him the benefit of the doubt. And with one thing I've learned with teachers, and they did it with me, God bless them. They gave me every benefit of the doubt to get me through school. And they do that with everybody. They're wonderful people, usually. Oh, yeah. There's some. Sally Kern was a teacher, so they're not all good.
They're not all good. No, they're not.
But they give him the benefit of the doubt and kept going, well, he'll come around. And you go, no, he's not. He's paid for this. So he's a hitman. It's literally, but he's not a good hitman.
He's not a good hitman. No.
So you think of the premises of the power game.
Yeah.
he cannot keep his cool. And what's the number one thing that will kill you in the power game?
Oh, man,
You
well,
cannot
you
be
know.
controlled emotionally.
You know how I talk about strategy all
Yeah.
the time, and this is one of Sun Tzu's things, you know, because, hey, man, if you have a choleric general that you're going up against, make him mad.
Oh,
because
yeah.
then they can't
You
think
can't
straight.
think, right.
You'll be able to make them take baits. You'll be able to make them. You'll be able to trap them easily because they'll overcommit and they won't think. They won't be logical, and you can trap them.
Yeah. And you can easily, in this case, not I'm saying that we have, but we may have, purposely tricked him and then watched his behavior later that day and recorded it.
There you go. And that's another thing that they say, hey, man, you know, watch what they do.
Oh, yeah.
You know, sometimes, like Sun Tzu would do things, he would do things to the enemy camp or whatever else, not because he wanted a major operation or anything, just to see how they would react.
And everybody has patterns of behavior. And you have to make yourself not have patterns of behavior. His patterns is whenever he's challenged, he explodes.
Yeah.
So what do we do every time then? Challenge him.
Challenge him.
Right.
Yeah. The more he does that, the more stupid he
And
looks.
I was doing all the stuff that's really stupid. Like he won't powder his forehead. He refuses to powder his forehead, and he's nervous when he's on the news. So you can
he
see
just
that
beams like a freaking beacon.
Right. I just make fun of him for it, and it gets under his. And somebody that's little, right?
Yeah.
That's little. Why would you care?
Thing. You know, I mean,
And
this show, if people don't notice, we use lights.
Yeah.
And we use pretty bright lights.
Right.
And you got to use some.
You got to use some
gotta
powder,
use some
or
theater powder.
you
It's
will
actually
get- you will
called
get shot.
anti-shine theater powder. It's for theater.
Right.
And it keeps me from looking like a lighthouse.
Cake powder. Cake
keeps
powder.
me from
And
washing
I know
out.
mine's a little bright today.
That's what.
It's
That's
been
just.
a busy day.
And I keep it warm. In
But
the
that's what we
studio.
do. So Thursday is the state teachers in the state school board meeting, 9:30 at the Hodge Building down at the Capitol Complex. You just walk in and go into the room, sign up to speak, say whatever you want. You got 2 to 3 minutes, depending on they will change the rules depending on how many people show up. So 2 to 3 minutes.
2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah. Have school's out for your kids. This is your chance to step up for them.
And it is. And when is it? Where it's
It is
9:30
on Thursday.
Thursday,
9:30 in the
Thursday,
morning
9:30
at
in
the
the morning.
Hodge Building.
The Hodge Building.
And I would love to see you there. I will have something wonderful up my sleeve to send his way.
All right, good deal. Yeah, and so that's Ryan Walter.
Right.
Big news going after.
The teacher,
I'm not going to pronounce her
teacher
name.
Bossimier.
I can't do it.
Bossimer.
Bosimer.
Right.
And he's going after. And what's this meeting about that they're going to have?
Oh, so
Anything? It's
this is just
it's
a regular
meeting they do.
monthly meeting, and so what we learned off the county commissioners is you just have a bunch of people show up, and you offset their program. Because he's just going to keep barreling through. People don't understand. I did an open records request, 2 weeks with him there, and I have a person in his office that handles my stuff, and I'm not getting anything anymore.
You're not
They've
getting
shut me
anything
down.
anymore.
But
They've shut you
legally, they have to get
down.
it.
They have to.
It's just they'll stretch it out.
They'll stretch it out.
And I don't mind
You'll get
so-
it to you'll get it eventually.
Right.
Is that the deal?
Yeah.
That they're just.
Isn't that crazy?
That is.
We're just in a cat and mouse game at this point. Once he called me a leftist radical, and one of the newspapers picked it up.
I said, Sean Cummings is a leftist
Right.
radical? I mean, come on,
Yeah.
man.
You never thought I'd hear that one.
You don't drag a paycheck from nobody.
No.
Everything
Nope.
you have is income generating assets.
Right.
That's like, you're a capitalist like any capitalist
Through and
would
through.
be. So calling you, that's just...
But he just doesn't have anything better, and
Yeah, he just
having
doesn't
been
have anything better.
having been a comedian for many years, when somebody calls you something like that, you go, "You must not have very good people, or you would have found something way better than that."
Better than that, man. No kidding, you know.
Everything's good. Hey, did we tell you last month? So I'm vice mayor now of the village. I don't
You're
know if we
vice
covered
mayor
that last
now.
time.
Nope, we did not.
It's a promotion. It gives me more work and really nothing but the title.
All right,
More work,
Vice
yeah.
Mayor Sean Cummings. The last time you were just councilman, I believe.
Yeah, just the councilman. So, hey, let's cover Kevin Stitt stuff.
Kevin Stitt.
Okay, everybody's favorite
Okay.
governor.
Yeah.
If you guys look up, the Third Reich had a guy that looked just like him.
Oh, really?
Look for the eyebrows.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
just look up pictures, Hitler's closest people, and you'll see Kevin's cousin.
Oh, man. You see Kevin's cousins. All right. Okay.
So,
Not saying anything, but, you know.
well, this kind of correlates to where we're going. So
Okay.
there's a deal called, I think it's DPS, Department of Public Safety.
Okay.
And they were taking away power from the OSBI. Now the
Okay.
problem is, the Department of Public Safety is his own police force,
Wow.
which no governor should have a police force,
No,
especially
they
in a
shouldn't
state
have their own.
that's got 60% Republicans.
Yeah.
Because then anyone that's an enemy, either side,
Yeah.
Republican enemies or Democrat, he can have anyone investigated. So The House voted that all the way down. It didn't get to go through. So
good
kudos.
Yeah,
they were covering their own asses, but it also helps to cover.
There's one good thing in Oklahoma. Yeah, I did see that, getting us off subject of that a little bit, but maybe still the same. I just saw a report that came out today from Channel 5, KOCO, that said Oklahoma ranks second for women being killed by men.
Wow, that's something to brag about. Hey, top 10.
Top 10.
I guess we shouldn't make fun of this. We'll get in trouble. I'm not trying to make fun of women being killed, but it's the fact that
funny,
that's our top 10 list.
Well, lighten up, people. Seriously. Yeah, it's not funny,
Let it go.
but being top 10 in that means it's horrible.
We're top 10 in all the wrong things, but I gotta tell you, if he ran for office again today, he'd win.
He would.
I mean,
straight party voting.
Yeah.
There you go.
And in all honesty, the Democrats did not really even run a Democratic governor last time.
No, we didn't.
And that's
we really didn't.
That's telling you where we're at.
That's the big thing, and she really didn't pull a lot of Democratic support because
she
of
did
that.
not, right? And the thing is, she was a good person.
Yeah.
She really is.
Good
I've
person.
known her for about 12 years on the campaign trail. Solid human being, makes decent choices, no panic, she's never mean.
She's not really a Democrat.
No, not at all, but that's the ticket that was available.
Nobody in her family is, her husband isn't, none of her kids,
ran,
none of them.
Should have ran as an independent.
Yeah, should have ran as an independent.
Because she could have pulled votes from his side.
She couldn't, because there we go, that strategy again. You've got to have a coalition of people, and you want to go with the people where you have the people and the resources. That would be the Democratic Party. As an independent, you don't have any of that.
She had all the money in the world, and it just didn't work. No. So the reason I bring that up is, hey, look at what we got coming in another 2 weeks is the Democratic statewide convention.
All right, 2 weeks, statewide convention.
Here's some really worrying things, and I'm not going to have my numbers exactly right, so don't write me a letter. 275 positions available in the greater Tulsa County area. Only 56 are filled for, your precinct officers.
And that's just for the Tulsa
County. Oklahoma County, we have about 80, and it's kind of the same amount of people available. It has fallen into terrible disarrears and disarray. So
how many have we lost in a year? I saw something about that too.
So it was another 30,000, and then we lost a bunch the time before. So we are down to being a little roughly over 30% of the voting force.
Wow.
And everybody goes, well, you'll get all the independents. And you go, no.
No, we won't get all the independents.
We
might get half.
Right.
We might get 40%. 40 to 50%.
So what we got to admit is our message is not resonating. And I don't know what the message is. I'm in a nonpartisan job, so I can openly throw this stuff out there. I have to work with people on both sides.
Yeah.
And when you're in city government, if it's nonpartisan, you don't get to pick sides.
That's what you got to do.
And what I see is
I learned that running for nonpartisan office in city government. It's nonpartisan.
Right.
And there's a reason why and everything. Yeah.
For city government, you just need people that can fix roads, budget sewers. You need some budgeting ability. I got a friend of mine, businessman in Kansas City, lives in a suburb called Prairie Village. He's running for city council up there. Just found out. He's my old college roommate.
All right.
And I was like, so you just said, well, if Cummings is able to do it, I'm able to do it. I will run.
There you go.
So positive when there. He's a good guy. And he'll do well if he gets in. So that's a good one coming down the pipe. Other places are learning from us. And Kansas was crazy 5 years ago, and they have come around entirely as a state. So it's possible, but we've got to find a unifying message that works.
A unifying message that works.
And I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
Right.
What is the message?
So
social justice, criminal justice. What are we doing?
So we had to. I mean, criminal justice is probably the best one to go with. Social justice just doesn't work because so much of our state is not exposed to other people that don't look like them. Outside of 6 counties, we're the only 6 counties where everybody's got to live together. The other 66 counties are predominantly, mostly white.
Yeah.
And you'll have some native areas in there that are really strong depending on the reservation system. And they just aren't around other people, so none of that makes any sense to them.
That makes sense too.
So, I know I'm rambling here.
We talked about this too, is we talked about how criminal justice didn't work in the rural areas. Like, hey, the jail trust and all that stuff, we talk about it a lot. People in the city here in Oklahoma County, Canadian County, or surrounding counties may care. But out in the rural area, out in McIntosh County,
doesn't matter to them. They
to
like
them.
their sheriff.
They like their sheriff. Oh gosh.
Right.
Oh, well, and then, hey,
Say like-
McCurtain County was in the news again. I guess another police guy from another place said,
On tape.
Run with a rifle.
They were going to have a protest down there, and people were like, "You going to go?" And I go, "No, I'll protest them up here, but I'm not going down there. Not in this environment.
Not in this environment.
That's not safe.
Not safe."
Look, there's no reason to die protesting because I'm not sure in this case, unless a whole bunch of people move there that are different, that you're going to change it.
Yeah, you're going to
So
change it.
one thing on the locations. So my wife ran in Edmond predominantly. Edmond doesn't care what's going on in Oklahoma City. They like their life out there. They like how it is, and they really and truly don't want anything to do with the problems of the city.
Yeah.
And they don't want to hear about it.
They don't want to hear about it.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
So anyone that is naive enough to think that you can bring these items which matter in the city, because we all have to live together, to an area where they don't feel like that.
And even just a suburb of
Right.
the metro.
It's only 10 miles away.
Yeah, man, we got our own thing over here. So.
We have our own problems. And
Yeah.
they go, really? What are they?
Yeah.
We don't have enough parks.
We don't have a park. Yeah.
But it's just a different deal, and I'm not making fun of them for it, but
Yeah.
we need to accept the fact of who our possible voters are.
Yeah.
And what their needs are, because we're obviously not addressing anything in the
No.
rural areas. We're not doing well in the suburban areas.
We're not.
Cities, we're doing well.
You know, I mean, yeah, we need to, hey, young families, suburban young families would probably be what we want to concentrate on, really.
And take the loss for now and build for the future.
Yeah.
Look, so, yeah, I mean, you ran for city council, you run again in 2 years, you're in. And that's the way it works. You know, your first one you rarely win, but yours was the closest. That was the closest race I
How
have.
close you can get other than a tie, right? When we're, so
My
that's
friend was
really
like, that is heartbreaking. And I go,
That is.
that tells you,
You know,
every vote matters.
It's really weird. You think it's heartbreaking. Oh, you lost by one. That's heartbreaking. But wow, it didn't
First time you were there.
It came with so many benefits. Just think about this. Because I came within one vote of winning. That really put me on the map.
Yeah.
That gave me influence. The people down at the city goes, oh hey, this guy
He's
was
coming.
able to pull people together and grab a coalition to vote for him. This is
Against
real
an
power.
incumbent.
Yeah.
Against an incumbent. which
Against
is
an
impossible.
incumbent with all of the endorsements.
Right.
So that really put me on the map. That was impressive to these people. So like last week, the mayor was on, the mayor of Boar Acres was on here. And I've been talking with him regularly about
See?
stuff. And the other city council people.
It's working.
So they know and they look, they're okay, well this guy's going to be a city, basically like you said, the first time, the second time, this guy's going to be a city council member, we ought to know who he is.
And the thing is, if you lose a race and you throw a little tantrum and cuss at everybody and it's everybody else's fault, you're done. You're done.
Look at Carrie Lake, I mean,
You got one,
done.
and she was gorgeous. She had everything you would want. She was a bit crazy, but you know that doesn't
now
seem
she
to
can
matter.
barely
anymore.
win precinct chair because her own people think, man, you threw a tantrum
And she could have been governor next.
could have done anything.
You just gotta look. There has to be a long-term plan. If this doesn't happen, what am I doing next?
Yeah.
I always looked at what are the opportunities that exist right now. I had people that were mad at me when I was councilman and I ran for that clerk's job. Well, it only has ever come up where a Democrat could run and win one time.
Yeah.
So you're going to miss the train, or you're going to try to jump on the train?
Yeah.
And
Grab the brass ring.
take your chance.
There you go.
If you lose, you lose. Who gives a hoot?
Hoot.
You know how I can guarantee you're not going to win?
How's that?
If you don't get in the race.
If you don't get in the race, that's
Can
that's
guarantee
perfect.
you're not going to win.
That's part of sales, it's always going to be no if you don't ask.
Right. Yeah, it's the
You
only
gotta try to
possible
close
answer.
that sale.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered Bosmer, we've covered
Bosmer,
Stitt, we've covered Ryan Walters. Let's cover Ringling, Oklahoma. Do you mind?
Ringling, Oklahoma. Right now, yeah, we've got
This
a
will be
few
the way to-
minutes.
this will be the way to
here,
finish
and
here.
then we'll get out of here.
Coach in Ringling, Oklahoma is accused of exposing himself to students and yelling some stuff to them, making the boys do naked up downs on AstroTurf, which is creepy, creepy as creepy gets. And then a whole bunch of abuse allegations, racism, and all this other stuff. He is evidently, the superintendent is saying he's back in his job May 1st.
Wow.
Right.
Nobody did anything.
No, and Ryan Walters has literally sat on his ass.
He hasn't done anything? He hasn't
On
even looked
his
into it. He
ass.
does an investigation, anything.
His guy tells me, because I've written it, because I send him the press releases the same time I send him to the press.
So what does the mole with inside of Ryan Walters' office tell you?
He says, we can't really do anything because if we do, he'll sue us also. And I go, no, you can make an innocuous statement. You do not have to go out and challenge the guy, but you have to, some adult has to show these kids that they are more important than a 1A football game. It's 1A.
Yeah.
Most of them are not going to college or the pros anyway. Very rarely would anybody go. You'd be way smarter to be the king of the library in Ringling, Oklahoma.
You know, they're not worried about getting sued by anybody else.
Well, so the district supposedly will have to cover the lawsuit against the coach. But I think Kent Southward has to be included in that now, because not only did he prove to be incompetent, not stand up for the kids, not keep the guy removed, Kent Southworth is part of the problem now.
Yeah.
And then, so when they called down to get a comment at Ringling, the coach's wife is who answered the phone.
Awesome. Awesome.
And then
Isn't that nice?
2 kids working there.
Wow.
Now, of course, I have had my life threatened, my car tires slashed, everything from these guys over an abusive coach, which at all 3 schools they knew he was abusive. In Ringling, they had a meeting because of his past behavior to see if they would still take him on. And they wanted the football win that much.
None of the parents or anybody have said anything? Or are they too scared?
Some
or
of the town is split. But the fact that half of the parents are saying we have to do something, and the other half are going, no, man, he's a winner. He's a winner.
There you go.
And that's where we're at. I mean, we're in a weird place if we're not looking out for kids that are being abused.
That is.
We're in a really weird space.
That's a social sickness.
Yeah. So I hope my car doesn't break down anywhere near Ringling.
Yeah.
That could turn out terrible.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's something.
It's a terrible way to close out your show, but this is where we are politically right now.
So where we are politically.
Right.
Ryan Walters won't do anything about that, but he'll do stuff about
The
boys
QR
giving
code.
a QR code to a library, not really to any banned books, just to a library.
Right.
That's all it goes to. He'll go after that, but he won't go after a guy making kids do naked up downs and and scoring up their junk.
Right.
That's
I am just beside myself on it, but you know me, I'm gonna keep on about it.
Well, you know, it's stuff like that keeps shows like this in business. You know, it wasn't for boobs like Ryan Walters doing some of the dorkiest stuff in the world, then we wouldn't have a show like this. It wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Hey man, I appreciate you having me on like you do
Sean,
all the time.
You have no idea what it means to me that you will come on my show and
it's good
talk for
politics.
15, 20 minutes to my audience and everything else it does.
I appreciate you doing it. You know you're the only one. Somebody asked me, they were like, well, why does he have a show? And I go, he's the only person.
Because nobody else will do it.
Right.
And I can do it. I've got good speaking. I can speak well. I keep it rolling. I don't do a lot.
I'm glad you do.
I don't do that. You know, a lot of stuff. Keep it rolling. I keep it interesting, and people kind of like it. I've gathered a following.
Hey,
so
before we go,
right?
Todd Lamb is moving up to UCO. Evidently, the guy
Really?
He was on the jail trust for God's sakes. Why would you hire him to run anything?
I don't know.
So here's the deal. If he moves up there, maybe I can get on Flashpoint.
There you go. Right? Well, you know,
Todd Lamb will not let me on Flashpoint.
They won't let you on Flashpoint. They won't let. Yeah.
And they won't let my wife on there as long as Todd Lamb's there.
Really? They won't let your wife.
What a pussy!
Yeah, no kidding.
Sorry.
He is. I'm sorry. He is. He really is.
Right.
You know, when he comes out trying to defend Nathan Dahm, saying, you know, yeah, my conservative values say that saying lewd things about women and how they got ahead in life are just funny jokes.
Right. Yeah.
They're just funny jokes. That's conservative values, everybody. So that's
where
where we are.
We're gonna keep fighting, brother. Keep fighting.
I know.
All right.
Well, everybody, this is the end of season 7, and I'm right here with Sean Cummings. There's our show for this day, for this week, for this season, and we'll be back. Season 8.
See ya.
6 or 7 weeks.